Awake TV. So today I'm going to talk about how to communicate with angels. By the time you finish watching this content, you know exactly how to do that. If you are interested in your own starship heritage or twin flame heritage or vibrational frequency, I have a lot of services at my Etsy store. Check that out. If you want to transform yourself to do a lot of spiritual development, stuff like that, let's have a free diagnostic call and see what we can do about it. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe so you won't miss new episode. So, how do you communicate with angels? When you started to raise your frequency, when you started to going through your spiritual awakening, number one, you started to feel urge you want to communicate with angels. That is the first sign your connection is already built. And in order to communicate with angels, you don't have to be Christian. You don't have to be Catholic, even though my background is a Catholic background. So angels, archangels are very familiar background for me. And archangels are my first guide I started to communicate it with right after my spiritual awakening. But you don't have to have Western religion background to communicate with angels. Angels are exactly the being who works for the prime creator. Of course, we all work for the prime creator, but angels' prime objective is just do that. Angel is like stand between prime creator and you. So we are all children of the prime creator, all of us on earth or other planets. So angels are here to be in between prime creator and you. This is why angels do communicate with anyone who is calling for them to communicate with. So first you need some kind of passion, some kind of desire you want to communicate with angels. So you create a connection. And number two, you need to maybe, you don't have to voice it with your sound, but you need to send a message from your heart. It can be telepathically, you know. A lot of times, my main guide is Archangel Michael. So I speak with him internally, right? I ask him to help me internally. He can hear me, right? So you don't have to voice it. The voicing each other is a human communication. When you want to communicate with higher frequency beings, as starseed family or angels or ascended masters, they can hear your internal voice. What are you thinking? Stuff like that. How you're calling internally. So you can just say, hey, you can probably look through like each angels, you know, there are famous angels like Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, Archangel Uriel, Archangel Gabriel, Archangel Sandalphon, Archangel Metatron, so on and so forth, right? Lot of angels. So when you feel intrigued by a certain angel, that's definitely your angel. So you can call upon their name and they can hear you and you can talk to angels. And you may say, oh, you know, I don't have a clear audience ability. I cannot hear back. Or I cannot see anything. I'm not clairvoyant. But your second step is to talk. That means you're gonna say, hey, Archangel Michael, I want to communicate with you internally. And then if you haven't cultivated your spiritual ability yet, you can give him a direction. Hey, if you're listening to what I'm saying, It seems like a one-way communication, right? But that's okay. You can talk to your angels one way. They can hear you. And then if you're hearing me, please show me the clear sign. So sign will be different. Sign will be different from what you think is sign. But when it's showing you repeatedly, your mind catches, oh, that's a sign. Yeah, it happened repeatedly. So you need to pay attention to your environment. It may be through the music, it may be through the word next person says to you, could be something you read on the book, or could be something you heard from YouTube, whatever. But you hear the response from the angels. And then number 3, you have to trust you communicated. If you deny all this communication, because if you can prove scientifically or whatever, newsflash, human scientific technology is far behind. So when you want to prove some being who are higher frequency than people on earth, science stuff cannot catch everything, right? Quantum physics can explain things, but earth science is far behind to detect something super high frequency in different dimensions, because that's how it is, right? This is why a lot of ships of higher frequency beings who are above the sky on earth, we cannot see them because their ships are in different frequency. So even though it's there, we cannot detect, right? That's what's happening. But that's a different story. So throughout that kind of idea that I can prove anything, nothing can prove. If you think about, oh yeah, I need a proof. I understand that, but when stuff is happening over and over, isn't that proof enough? So you need to trust that. When you trust, you cultivate more connection. If you don't trust that you're communicating with angels, what's the point, right? So when it's happening over and over, you're communicating with. And then next step is you will find out your preferable communication method. Angel knows your, I guess, your highest communicational skills. And they're going to use you to communicate through that. Maybe you have a dream talking to the angels. That's your communication ability. So they're going to use that. Or maybe you are the person who is a creative person, and then you're going to shift into different imaginary world, and then suddenly you see yourself communicating with angels. It looks like you're making up, but not. Maybe angels are using your communication imagination ability to communicate through that ability. So don't deny your method. Eventually, you're going to start having the ability, clear cognizance, like knowing you're communicating with, or clairvoyant, seeing, or clear, like myself, hearing, right? So eventually, you can trust that ability. But meanwhile, any kind of method of communication angels are communicating with, trust that. And number 5, constantly communicate with angels so you can build a relationship. Any kind of relationship, including angels, cultivate that. More you cultivate that, you have a trust you're communicating with, and then your bond get thickened. So that's an important thing, and enjoy that. And you can just talk about what's happened today in your life. They don't care. In the beginning, when I was talking to Archangel Gabrielle, we just talked about what's happened in my day. That's what she asked me. What's happened today? How are you today? So we never talked about anything spiritual. We just talked about my day, right? So you can talk about anything to cultivate the relationship with. And more you cultivate the relationship, you trust yourself. And that's how you communicate with archangels. Trust is the key. And be open-minded. And angels are, because angels are between prime creator and the being, including human, they are obligated to answer your call. They cannot ignore your call, so they can hear your call. So you need to always be observant and catch how your angel is trying to communicate with. So if you're interested in knowing your starseed heritage, starseed background, stuff like that, I have a service at Etsy store. Check it out. And if you want to fast forward your ascension or spiritual development, let's have a free diagnostic call and we'll see what we can do about it. Link is in the comment box. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and we see you guys next time. Bye!